Hello and welcome into the Sporting Pod. Along with Emerson, Burris, and Tony Allegretti, and Mauricio Ruiz, I'm Cole Pepper. Coming up today on the pod, taking stock of the team at the international break, how the internationals are doing, and what one of them is saying about the experience. Plus, we jump back into our Premier League contest. We are fed by the Bearded Pig, locally owned and operated with location, the original location there in San Marco. I was just there the other day for lunch. Make sure you swing by the Bearded Pig for great barbecue and great times. By the way, I had the burnt ends and a pulled pork sandwich and the mac and cheese, and it was all tremendous.
What was your favorite?
So when burnt ends are done very well, as you know as a Kansas City,
Yes.
when burnt ends are done right, it's pretty tremendous.
Okay.
So
And they were done right?
they were.
Good.
Yeah. All but one of them. I got one really crunchy one, but the rest of them were great. Some people like them crunchy. All right, here let's jump into this, everybody. I want to start with where the team sits right now. We talked a little bit about this last week, but I want to build on it. They're off this weekend, and they'll next play on Halloween against Lexington SC, the top team in the table. Sporting JAX is unbeaten since September 6th. They've won 5 straight. They've not lost in 49 days. They currently sit 4th in the table, but they are level on points with third-place Fort Lauderdale, and they are second in the most recent power poll in the Gainbridge Super League. They are tied for second in the league in goals. Ashlyn Puerta leads the league with 7 goals scored. Jade Pennick and Paige Kenton are tied for 12th with 2. Meg Hughes is second in the league in assists. Julia Lester, Sophia Bowman, and Georgia Brown are all in the top 10 in passes. If you were to have presented this information, Tony, on August the 22nd to say, at the international break, this is where the team would be, what would have been your reaction?
Well, I would have thought that Mark and Stacy had done a very fine job of selecting a team, because it seems like they are their unit. They're achieving, I think, above expectations, and it's just, I would definitely be pleased with that. You know, in soccer, a lot of times you say, if you'd take 1-1 at the half,
right?
You know, before the game. Yeah, this is definitely some things that I would love to have recognized before the season started. But it's amazing. I think the coaches and Mark have done a tremendous job.
Mal, from a coaching standpoint and through your lens, what do you make of what's happened so far?
Well, you see a really young team that it's difficulty finding their way to holding on results, even though performances were pretty good. And what you've seen as of late, as you mentioned, we haven't lost in 5-6 games. There's still a little bit of inconsistency. I would say that most of these games, you would still like to get 2 more points than, of the 3 allowed in there, and you've got a couple ties. But you're seeing a team grow up in front of our eyes. You see them as not shooting ourselves in the foot anymore, making better decisions and managing momentums in a game. So it's a good trajectory to be on, one that we kind of, at least I did. I was kind of a little bit unsure in the beginning, like, well, this can either go 2 different ways, right? We could either learn from this and move forward, or we could get really, for a young team, let the confidence hit us and go the opposite way. And I'm happy to say that it looks like our confidence has not been really altered that much. The players are playing with good confidence, and they're playing, like Tony said, with some really good players performing at a really high level. But the trajectory is positive on this team, and we're not the only hot team in the league, but it's good to be one of the hot teams for sure at this point in the season.
I'm going to use that time-worn statement here to start this phrase. If the season ended today, Sporting JAX would be in the playoffs. We have a long way to go till that. Emerson, this is the first time you have covered a pro soccer team on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
What is your takeaway so far from the first 8 games?
I mean, I second everything that Mao and Tony just said, and listening and reading all of these accolades. I mean, we're doing something right, and kudos to Stacy and Mark. I'm just reading over them again. Ashlyn Puerta, 18 years old, and is leading the league with 7 goals, and she was just called up to the U20 national team. I mean, we're doing something right. It's freaking awesome.
By the way, let me just say this as well on Ashlyn Puerta, and I don't want to, I want to spread around the flowers here, but Ashlyn with 7 goals. She's on pace for 24 goals. Last year's Golden Boot winner, Allie Thornton, scored 13 goals in the entire season. Now, no guarantee that there's going to be the same kind of pace, but that just tells you what kind of pace she's on right now. And Mao, I think you referenced this when we talked about this on one of the radio shows, is that teams are starting to make plans to defend her. And yes, she's still finding ways to score goals.
Well, that's when you know you have a good player, and not just from a technical and a talent standpoint, but her understanding of spaces is so good. Called Thomas Mueller at his top was called the space invader. Not because he was the fastest or the most technical, because he just knew how to identify and exploit space. And Ashlyn is kind of like that. I mean, you look at the goals that she scored, Cole, they just come from many different ways, which makes it a really difficult player to mark. She can do tap-in, shots on top of the box, right foot, left foot. I think she even had a header in there somewhere, PKs. So she's a player that if you game playing around her, now coach has done a really good job of also having her occupy different spaces on the field, depending on the tactics of the opposition. She'll continue to find spaces as she kind of gets taken out. And this U20 break during the World Cup, it's going to bring her to a complete different level when she comes back.
By the way, so she's off to Kansas City, by the way, where they're holding this camp. And the U20s will have a scrimmage with KC Current 2. And, of course, Ashlyn has some experience on that front as well. Interesting how it kind of all comes full circle. But, Tony, the way she's scoring goals, Mal talked about all the variety of them. The most recent one, scoring to equalize in the final 10 minutes against Tampa Bay, was one of those that you could very easily have seen her overpower it too. So she found the space, the ball came back to her, but she put enough behind it, but didn't do too much with it.
She got over it, and it was coming out quick to her. I was just about to talk about that goal. Anybody else, including myself, hits that first time, it's going to the tennis court.
Even you?
I mean, it might make it to my car. That was which is at the airport. So anyway, no, it was she did an amazing job, and those are just really good signs of a quality player. You only, that match was proof. You only get like one chance, and if you squander that chance, the result turns out a lot different. So
you talk about her composure too, Tony. I mean, on the pitch and off. Emerson, you have interviewed her several times after games, as she's been one of the stars. She is, for an 18-year-old, such great composure. She's so even keel. She has a passion for the game. You could see it in her goal celebration. But she really has a nice balance to her as a player.
Yes, and she is probably one of the most humble people I've ever met. Always gives glory to God and shouts out everyone else before she talks about herself, and really gives kudos to her team for setting her up for success.
She is not the only star on this team, but right now she is the leading candidate for the Young Player of the Year in the league, and the Golden Ball and Golden Boot leader. I would think certainly Golden Boot, maybe the Golden Ball leader as well. It is something. We'll be anxiously following how her career progresses. I want to remind you that Sporting Flex Packs are now available. You can choose any 4 matches over the course of the rest of the season, and it helps you save on the single-game ticket price. 4-game Flex Packs start at just $60. Go to sportingjax.com/flex or call 904-863-KICK to get your Sporting Flex Pack today. Next home game for Sporting JAX won't come until the 22nd of November when Fort Lauderdale comes to town, but that would be a good first one to put in on that Flex Pack. We mentioned the international opportunities for Ashlyn. She's not the only one playing international, getting some international play. Georgia Brown got called into the Scottish senior national team for the first time in her career. On Tuesday, Scotland plays at Morocco, and then next Thursday they're at home against Switzerland. Then she'll have a flight back on Friday to try to get to Lexington in order to join Sporting JAX for that matchup. But I wanted to play some sound from Georgia, and this comes courtesy of the Scotland national team social media channels. This was what Georgia had to say about getting her first opportunity with the senior team.
How are you feeling? How was the travel from Jacksonville to Edinburgh?
Good. It was a long day yesterday, but I had a good night's sleep last night, so happy to be on the pitch this morning.
How was that first session out this morning?
It was good to get a few touches on the ball, find out how the girls like to play, and yeah, I really enjoyed this.
Obviously your first call up, been with the 23s before, but tell us a wee bit about finding out that you're being called up. What was that like? Who were you with?
Yeah, so I had an idea that maybe I was going to get called up to the 23s again, and then to get the call from Mal, I was buzzing, honestly. Yeah, I was so excited, couldn't wait to get here.
Proud moment for your family as well.
Oh, for sure, Dad was buzzing.
And for those who haven't seen you play, obviously your first camp coming in, what can they expect from you out in the pitch?
I mean, I'm a very tall person, so I like to bring the physical presence, but I also like to pride myself on my technical ability, breaking lines, passing the ball. That's how I like to play.
What have those early messages been from Mel so far?
She honestly came in and just told me just to enjoy myself. That's when I'm going to get the best out of myself if I enjoy it, and just to learn as much as I can in the camp, learn as much as I can from the girls. They're a quality squad, and the coaching staff we have as well.
All right, we have been around Georgia Brown quite a bit. Emerson, you can hear the excitement. She's talking fast.
Yeah.
She's very excited about what's going on there.
Yeah, we did a player feature with her not too long ago, and I started the interview with, "You got the call up, tell me about the emotions." And she said, "I haven't stopped smiling since." And she got the call right before she went out to training and practice with Sporting JAX, and she's just over the moon, and I'm so excited to see what she can do with the team.
Tony, I love it when we have this kind of recognition. And when you look at the rest of the Scotland roster, I don't know if you saw this graphic, where the other players are from. You've got Man City and Arsenal and Real Madrid and Sporting Club Jacksonville listed there. That's cool to be in that kind of company.
Yeah, it's amazing. And, kudos to Georgia. She's been part of our system and our pathway for a long time. So she's a true, real icon for us. I mean, the early days were season 1, but an absolute, club star. And I know we're going to be watching her from here really closely, and I can't wait to root her on.
Mal,
it's amazing.
When we first encountered Georgia, she was playing for the W League team, and we did some interviews and features, and we could see right away. I mean, anybody can see she's 6'2", so she stands out. But the way she plays too, it's been so fun to see her progression through W League and her college career, then all the way up to the point where she's a starting center back on a pro team.
Well, I'm just glad that she's making all of us look really good right now, because we all had an opinion of what she could be, 2 years ago as we were watching her, and she is fulfilling our prophecies of how good she could be. So I'm just thankful that she's not making us all look really incompetent in our jobs and our evaluation. It's not a hard one here, because her track record was pretty proven. It's not like we found a gem out of nowhere and formed her into something special. She was special then already, and she was dominant at her level. So within time here, and this call up is another expression of that. I hope she gets to play a little bit. As you mentioned, she's around some really top level players, and she'll benefit from that experience, whether she steps on the field or not in those matches. But hopefully she'll get to play a little bit. And watch out, if you think Georgia was impressive before, let her come back from experiencing this with other top level players. Her game is going to go up a couple notches from here.
The other international opportunity we want to mention, the U17 Women's World Cup is ongoing. Former Sporting JAX Academy player Sydney Schmidt is playing there. She has since agreed to sign a pro contract with Carolina Courage in the NWSL. But that team won 3-0 over Ecuador and 5-2 over China to qualify for the knockout round. They have one more game in the group stage tomorrow at 9 a.m. against Norway. This is all being played in Morocco, and it is interesting that the Scotland national team will be there at the same time playing Morocco on Tuesday. So interesting to see how if Georgia will be able to catch up with Sydney at all. Just crazy coincidence. All right, for the latest on Sporting JAX, you can check out the Sporting JAX Report, noon Saturday on NBC 12 before Premier League action. Every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010XL. We have the Coaches Show. Stacey Balaam and other guests join me, including a player every week. And the Sporting JAX Soccer Hour every Thursday night at 6 on AM 930 Fox Sports Radio Jacksonville. Mauricio, Becky Burley, Emerson, and me each and every week. Just want to mention that tomorrow we'll have the high school, as we record this on a Thursday morning in the Gemstone Media Studios. Tomorrow we'll have the high school soccer media day, so we'll have some more conversation about that coming up next week. So that's always going to be a fun one. Let's give a little time here for our Premier League contest that is ongoing. Tony is coming to us from the land of the Premier League. Tony, where are you today? Chester?
I'm in Chester. Yes. The ancient Roman city of Chester. It's amazing.
Okay, so he's been pulling some more info over there since he's been in the UK. Last week,
it's the whole reason I came over is to win this competition.
Right. Well, I mean, why else would you? Brighton over Newcastle was Tony's pick last week. He got that one right. Mauricio had Leeds over Burnley, as did Emerson. Both lost.
Thank you, Emerson. You've been doing so well. I was trying to follow your footsteps here, and you led me to the wrong path.
I know.
Emerson.
I'm so sorry.
And that'll teach you to copy off somebody else's paper. And
it was really difficult last week. It was really difficult.
I didn't find it that difficult. I picked Sunderland over Wolves.
All right.
Yeah.
Sound like Matthew McConaughey.
I'm sure you did it.
All right. So let's go this week. Tony is the leader. You go ahead and lead us off. Who is your pick? Remembering we can only pick a team twice each throughout the course of the year.
Eventually, we're going to have to start talking about what we have left to choose from, because I'll never remember all the ones that I've picked. Again, it was I don't know. This one for me was pretty easy. I'm doing Chelsea at home over Sunderland. I don't think I've picked Chelsea yet.
You have not. I like that pick. Mauricio?
I'm going to go with Bournemouth over Forest. Forest cannot seem to get out of their way right now, and Bournemouth is doing pretty well. And it's at home.
I like that pick. I had already picked Bournemouth, so I'm staying away from that for now. I'm taking Arsenal over Palace.
Whoa.
I have not picked Arsenal yet this year, but they're atop the table right now, and a chance to get a little distance. As you can hear Tony's reaction, and we'll see if it pays off, but I'm picking Arsenal here. Emerson?
Well, I'm not too confident, but Wolves is going to have to win at some point.
Oh.
Yes.
And I feel like I should just pick them now.
Okay.
So I'm going Wolves over Burnley. So we'll see.
I agree. I agree with that, Emerson.
You like that?
I think they're due, and I think if they're going to beat anybody, it's probably
maybe
Burnley.
it's time.
So,
well, that's the thing. Part of this challenge every week is figuring out when you want to pick a team against a team. And we all have our own sort of theories on this. Let's talk just for a moment, by the way. Today in the picks, we've among those who have picked, the gents have picked the first, third, and fifth place team in the table. So maybe not necessarily all that bold this week. Emerson takes the strongest team in the league because they're holding up the entire table from the bottom.
Yep.
Looking for their first victory all season long. We'll see if it pays off. Just because of the number of match weeks in a season, we will not have to pick every team twice, but we cannot pick any team more than twice. So we'll see how this all works out. All right, guys, it's a bit of an off weekend. A lot of sports fans around Jacksonville will be looking for activities with the Jags off, Sporting JAX off. We'll see how it all plays out. And then Halloween in Lexington next up for Sporting JAX in a matchup with the top team in the table. Tony, give you an opportunity here to give me some international breaking of format.
Yeah, so thank you. I've been meeting with Everton in the community this week, and it's been phenomenal. You think there's so many things around here with, I don't know, just name something, public transportation or architecture or whatever, where you can just see that this country is 400 years ahead of us. In the commitment to the community Everton being around for 150 years, started as a charitable organization. They are 150 years ahead of us and working with the community. And so I'm bringing back a lot of sort of lessons learned and best practices, and real tangible things, especially around the built environment. So yesterday I played walking soccer, which I found out about after my Achilles injury. I had a really bad sort of mental health, sort of depressive attitude. I wasn't able to walk for a couple years, regularly, and I still can't run. And I remember being injured and thinking to myself, I played this game for 40 plus years. I don't really know what to do without being able to, go and kick around and do that quasi competitively, and I really haven't since my Achilles. But I remember looking up walking soccer, and so that was a program that I really wanted to learn more about while I was here. And I got invited, and I played with the lads who are in the top 10 of walking soccer in England right now, and they are the reigning champs. I'll share a bunch of info when I get back, but I just want to say that the some of the things that they are doing here on their mini pitch that help the community, we're going to do on ours, and that's coming very soon. So really excited about that, and really just so grateful for my hosts that have been here. Specifically, I don't know if they'll listen to the pod, but Dale and Jordan and John at Everton and the community, it's been outstanding. The other thing that I'll just drop in here is, oh my God, their offices are in Goodison, and it's amazing. So I got to a couple meetings over there, and you're like walking around this hallowed ground, this church, if you will, and the women players are all there, eating lunch, and it's just a tremendous privilege to work in sport and to be around people doing amazing things.
Will you be getting to the match on Sunday?
No, I'm going to Dundee. I'm going to be in Scotland for the rest of the week. So no, I'm going to be away.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to some more reports on your Scottish travels.
It's super difficult to catch games over here. It's easier for me to watch Sporting JAX than it is to watch Everton.
I've heard that from every English soccer fan, Stacey Balaam, Mark Warburton, anybody else, that the Premier League is so easy to follow in the United States, but there are more restrictions over there in the UK. So, all right, Tony, safe travels. We'll talk to you next week. Mauricio, thank you so much.
You guys.
For Emerson Burris, Mauricio Ruiz, Tony Allegretti, I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks so much for listening to The Sporting Pod.
Cheerio, mates.